What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The David Lopez Show, presented by Passion Park Entertainment. I am excited to be back with an awesome episode. On this episode, we have an interview, a great interview, between two new friends of mine who I just met. And I'm going to get into that in a second. I'm going to tell you who they are, a little bit about what we talked about before I get into that interview. But before that stuff, I got a new gig alert, new show alert, new live music alert. If I just bothered you in your headphones, I apologize. But I'm excited. I have a show to announce. If you want to come see me perform live with my band, I will be live at Martyrs on the north side of Chicago. It's a pretty famous venue. It's been around for a little bit. I've never played there, so I'm very excited. Saturday, February 16th. If you're familiar with the podcast, then you might know, I think it's episode 10. We had Colin Iwanski on. Awesome dude. It's a great interview. He's a friend of mine that I've known for a little bit. His band, Red Ransom, is also playing that night, so I'm super excited we get to play, hit the same stage that night. It's a Saturday night in Chicago. I have an hour set. I'm going to do a lot of new music from this new album. I'm super excited. Tickets are $10. It's going to be a fun night. So if you're in Chicago and if you're looking to see some good live music, please come out to Martyrs on Saturday, February 16th, and be prepared for a good night of music. So yeah, I'm pumped for that. Make sure you stay tuned for more more sneak peeks on that. I might do some ticket giveaways, all that kind of stuff, all that kind of jazzery. But as far as this episode goes, I'm just going to keep it to the interview because the interview is like an hour long. It's a little bit longer. So those of you who want to check this out, please do. As far as some of the sports stuff I talk about, the Super Bowl and everything happening, there is definitely stuff I want to talk about. So I'm going to do another whole separate episode that has some sports stuff in it. But this interview was great. Like I said, these are new friends of mine. This is one of the rare occasions where we basically met on camera. So it's Lexie Cupples and Seth, aka Snag. He's a DJ. I had met Lexie before at a concert, actually, one of our shows before. And I hadn't really I met Seth the night before at the Artist Collect show that we went to. But really brief, and I tried not to talk to them too much because I preferred, getting to know each other on camera as we did here. We literally met on camera. They were awesome because they brought some freaking treats. So I've been eating their donuts that they brought for the past couple days. So that's been super clutch. So shout out to you guys for doing that. Really appreciate that. And they also had these crazy Sour Patch Kids cereal. What? I didn't even know that was a thing. It's definitely not a real cereal. Nobody's eating that with milk. No, you just munch on that out of the box. Because that's... I guess you could do it, but it seems insane. It's like a sour Fruity Pebbles, but closer to candy. I don't know. It's weird. Anyways, I was very appreciative of them for bringing by some goods. I think they were the first ones to bring by some munchies. I'm pretty sure. I'm not positive about that. I would have to go over some of the episodes. But anyways, we talk at length here. At first, we just get to know each other a little bit. I asked them where they're from and a little bit of their backstory for both of them. But then we get into music and art and just creative processes and stuff like that. And it's a cool talk. I had a fun time. With these guys. So go ahead and look them up. Stay supportive. Hopefully you enjoy this interview, and make sure to keep doing you. I don't even know what was that. What was that? What kind of ending was that? Jesus. But really though, enjoy the interview. I'm gonna send it over to that. And that's about it. So holla, enjoy Lexie Cupples and Snag.
So here's the Sour Patch Kids cereal. It's from Post. I'm pretty excited to have you guys try these. I've tried them a little bit, but
I just can't believe this is a thing. Sour Patch Kids cereal. Did you already try it? Did you open them?
I have, and the reason I've tried them is because they felt heavy.
Wait, but that's weird because it's
Yeah, chew
Oh
through
my
it.
God.
Now chew through it. And
Oh,
does it
good
kind
one.
of taste like Fruity Pebbles?
Does the color matter? Does it change color?
Fruity Pebbles is the good comparison.
Yes.
But like a sour Fruity Pebbles.
Yeah, like sour at first.
Does the color
but then sweet.
change the taste? Does an
I
orange
think
one
so.
taste different?
Yeah, they're different. Oh my God, that's so. I don't honestly. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, I could snack on it like a munchie like that, like
Yeah.
as a candy at late night or
I
something.
think like eating it's fine.
This is definitely not a cereal though. I mean, then again, is Captain Crunch with berries really a cereal? I mean, like it's dessert, but it's cereal. It's dessert cereal. Like it's so good. It's candy basically in a bowl.
I like these better than Sour Patch Kids.
Oh, that's blasphemy. So, did you guys have a good time last night at the Artist Collect show? Right?
Yeah, it was super fun.
Yeah, right? It was a good time.
It was a cool venue too.
Yeah, the sound system in that venue was amazing.
I thought so too. I'd never been there, and it really it came together well. It was packed too. You know, it's because the low ceilings in there. Like I like venues like that. It's like it's interesting because that's like usually for comedy that's normal, but for music
It's
it kind of like
compact.
really keeps it in there. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah, yeah. That was a good time. That was a good time. So all right. So you guys are from Des Moines.
Yep.
Are you both like from there, born and raised, or what?
I was born in Minnesota, southern Minnesota, and I was
Okay.
raised in like the Ames area.
Ames, Iowa,
Ames, which is like 45 minutes north.
of Des Moines.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But
Yeah.
it has Iowa State University.
That's okay. That's why it's familiar.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right.
The Cyclones.
Yeah, the Cyclones. I know
Yep.
that. Did you? So wait, and then you live in Des Moines now. So how long have you been in Des Moines?
Ooh, 8 years.
Okay.
Yep. Since I got to make choices.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. I hear that. I hear that. And then where were you born and raised?
So I was born in Des Moines, but I was raised in Newton, Iowa. It's about 30 minutes east of Des Moines. So
Newton.
It's just a small little.
Newton.
Yes.
You
I
said
don't
it
know
about
why.
right.
I don't know why I did that.
There's rings in the cosmos that way. It's about right.
That's incredible.
So is it like a farm town or like a?
Yeah, we have a lot of farmers. I mean,
Except they built like a $500 million NASCAR speedway outside.
What?
Of the town. Yeah, like
Yeah,
you're driving
there's
around cornfields,
just
all of a sudden
like
there's like a city's big race car track.
just in the middle of the cornfield.
What the fuck?
Brand new, literally like a $500 million race car
Well, they
track.
must. I mean, that must be a really big industry for them out there, then, right?
I think it's on their own tours and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's like a specialty niche area. The track is shorter than like regulation speed tracks.
Okay.
Like it's like a smaller rink, so it's like more technical to like drive for the drivers. I used to work at this speedway.
Oh, really?
Like kind of. So it's hard for me to like explain it without sounding confused.
Right.
Cause I'm like I've never driven on a racetrack. And I've never.
I was gonna ask you that. If you
like,
worked there, did you ever get on like one
I
of
was
those
I
cars?
was a bartender, so
Okay.
like I was up in the owner's suite,
Okay.
and so like I was like bartending for the owners and
Yeah.
making sure that they were taken care of.
Yeah.
So I wasn't really.
You're not driving with the peasants. You're not. No, actually, those guys are they're the superstars. I guess there would be the stars. But that's sweet. That's cool. That's like a whole. I've never been to like a. That's kind of fascinating though. Those just like driving like 200 miles per hour, right? Like that shit is like.
Yeah, left all the way.
Solid left.
Solid left.
Talk about an adrenaline rush. Could you imagine like that? So like you like a rush,
Like-
doing anything, but that kind of rush has got to be like.
The G forces on your body must be
taxing.
insane.
You know, I was just hearing
Endurance.
something. I don't remember what it was. It was some podcast I was listening to, but how troubling it is for astronauts to adjust back to life when they get back. Like, I don't know, Neil Armstrong or somebody like took them like months to walk again.
Gravity
That's so
must be
weird.
Really difficult.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but that's a crazy. I wouldn't even think of that. Like, you literally have to relearn how to walk because of it.
Muscle dystrophy. Is that what it's called? That happens like your muscles start going away because you don't use them.
Okay,
There's no
yeah.
gravity pull against them.
Oh yeah, because you didn't have to. But that's
Didn't do anything.
that's crazy. That's so weird. Yeah. Anyways, all right. So cool. So now we know where you guys are from. A little Iowa. So the first time we met was Iowa City.
Right.
I love Iowa City. I've been there several times. That's a fun town. So that's my experience with Iowa.
Fun is a good way to describe Iowa.
Yeah.
City.
That's a town with no ceiling.
Get no ceiling. I like it. Like there's no cap to it. Like
Right, like when you're in the like town, it feels like the sky doesn't stop.
yeah.
That
It's
makes
just
sense?
like
Very
I've
tall guy.
had some very very wild times there. What else? I'm trying to think other cities in Iowa. So when I was when I was looking for a college, like trying to decide on a college, I visited a bunch of these like small schools in Iowa. So Wartburg.
Luther,
Yeah.
UNI,
No, I didn't visit Luther, but there's Cornell.
Cornell.
Yeah, but those are like small town. Like I just remember driving through cornfields like for hours. Like, so is that like you're growing up? Like what did you guys grow up? I'm used to city. Like I was in the city my whole life, so I'm used to fast paced. So it interests me like people grew up differently. Like
I had two versions. So the growing up I remember, I moved a lot when I was little, but then right about memory age, I lived in Okoboji, Iowa, which is like an oasis.
Okoboji? That doesn't even sound like it would be in America.
It's like an oasis. It's like a vacation spot in the middle of nowhere. And
Really?
like, there's only like two spots in the world like this. The water comes from like a deep aquifer up through the bottom of the lake and feeds the lake that way instead of like a river or stream feeding it. So the water comes up crystal clear.
Really?
Yeah, and there's like it's a huge
In the
lake
middle of
structure
Iowa?
in the middle of Iowa, and like there, it is the second. There is property along the West Lake Okoboji that's like the second most expensive in the United States per square foot. Only Manhattan in New York was beating it for like the time I knew
What
that.
the fuck?
They're like $1 million per square
How
foot.
have I never heard of this? How far is that from here?
9-10 hours.
So like it's a good vacation spot then?
It's
Like,
amazing.
damn,
It's unreal.
I gotta try
And
this.
they have like an amusement park there, Arnold's Park, that's from like the 60s. So you can ride like a wooden roller coaster and go on like a Ferris wheel, and it feels like very
Dude, this is
eclectic.
amazing. You just decided on a vacation for me. This is-
It's unreal.
It's very popular in the summer times as well, especially for like our age of people, like showing up there like on the 4th of July as well. Like people
Huge.
get dumb lit.
These lakes are massive, and on the 4th of July, there'll be so many boats, people just tie off across the entire lake. The entire lake's so
it's
full of
insane.
boats.
Is there like bars and shit there? Like
Everywhere.
So
Yeah.
is it a
That's
good
all
like
it is.
bachelor party spot?
Yes.
Like,
Amazing.
I like this.
It really is like an adventure in
All right,
Iowa.
all right.
So that was
I
my
like
younger
this.
years.
Yeah.
And my dad was a naturalist there, so I spent a lot of time outside. And then we moved to a small town by Ames. It's called Kelly, and they had 150 people lived in the whole town.
Oh
And I
my
was-
God.
Yeah, and I was their paper boy.
What?
So I knew everybody.
That's so
Yeah.
funny.
And we worked on my neighbor was a small farmer, and he like shocked oats still, like where you like tied them off and laid them against each other, let them sit in the sun. I like square-billed hay. I sold sweet corn on
Dude,
the
that
street
is like
corner.
a different life. That's like
It was like the 1950s.
Yeah.
Like, it didn't change since the 1950s. Like the buildings hadn't changed since the 1950s.
That's
we
crazy.
had a small town museum open like 2 days a week. Like
Oh
there was
my
like
God.
we had the only phone booth left in Iowa.
It reminds me of the
Right.
town in Mr. Deeds, like where he's from. Like
To a T. You
Yeah.
have no idea how much
Really?
to a T. It was surreal.
That's like, he reads his cards at every week he reads his cards. And
Yeah, the
stuff.
mayor
Like,
does something and everybody comes.
Yeah,
yeah, it really happened.
that's crazy. Well, I mean, yeah, those towns are still around. I mean, I guess you don't think about that when you're in like a city like this because it's like it's like at the top of like what's new and stuff like
Yes.
that. But there's still towns like that. Like it's crazy.
Yeah, no, and they don't want to change. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Their new development was built 20 years ago, and it was 6 houses on the west side of Kelly. You know what I mean? That was still considered the new development.
Yeah, that's crazy. Do you have you seen that documentary on Netflix, Wild Wild Country?
I haven't.
It's about this like cult that was formed in Utah in like I think it was like the 80s or something like that. But it's a real story. It's so weird, but it's a really interesting documentary. But anyways, it sounds like it's a town like that. It was like what do you call it when you're not municipality? You're like if you're like a really small. You're like off. It's not. I don't know what it is, but
I know
whatever.
what you're talking about. Yep.
But they were like a small town, like 50 people or something like that, and like this whole like kind of like cult group like infiltrated and like made the whole town their whole thing. They just like took it over. It was crazy. I don't know why they thought that, but
that to me makes a lot of sense too, because you can use like the school and the waters to like fund whatever you needed to do.
yeah,
that's crazy.
That's it's wild. So yeah, so you had a little mix then growing up. You had that like
Super.
Yeah,
And then we were right by Ames and stuff, and that's how I got started like DJing and everything, because like there's a real world like right next to us. So
Okay.
like, I grew up in the 1950s with 2010 right there. You know what I mean? It was
Yeah.
weird. Mhm.
yeah, but that's a good mix. I feel like that's a good
Super
mix.
good mix.
Yeah. Oh shit.
Like
Crash.
like the
Crash.
dichotomy of like how much that separates. You know that line of literally just traveling 10 miles and then you're in
Right.
It was so worth it to us that we would ride our bikes those 10 miles across gravel roads.
Yeah.
We would ride in the backside of Ames and go like down to the tailgating parties during the
Oh, that's
football games and
awesome.
stuff.
Yeah.
It was awesome. We weren't even drinking at that time, and it was still awesome just to be like, whoa.
But that's funny because like even like in cities it's like that, you know, like you can go like 2 blocks and you'll see like the complete difference. Like it goes from like
Right. So yeah, just seeing those lines. Yep, those are cool. To like be aware of your surroundings in a sense of knowing the opposite sides and being able to see the objective points of them.
Yeah, I think it's important to grow up with like all those views, or at least like I didn't have any like countryside stuff, or like I didn't even have like much animal experience or anything like that. And I'm like, oh man, I wish I had a little of that too, like to go along with it. Now as I get older, I'm like,
and I don't think everyone in Iowa is like ram-packed like farmer.
no,
you know,
I don't think so either.
Right.
But well, I mean, like already getting that. So what is your like? How was your growing up then?
So I grew up with my mom and dad. So my mom has printed T-shirts ever since I was a kid, and she runs her own business. Prints her out of the corporate United States. It's crazy.
Really, that's awesome.
And she gets to like work from home, and she loves it. Like that woman's amazing.
So that's cool because like super entrepreneurial. You see that right in front of you, right?
And then especially coming from like a woman's standpoint of like her
sure.
being like just I'm running a business.
Yeah,
and, like,
that's awesome.
She's killing it. My father is a pastor, politician, and a car salesman.
Oh shit.
So if he's doing anything, he's selling something. You know, like he's like.
And remind me of the town again, or where you're from?
Newton.
Yeah, Newton. So, and he's a politician in Newton.
Yes. So
okay.
He's just,
and how big is that?
That is a 16,000.
Okay, so it's a bit. I mean, like relatively big size. Yeah.
We're the largest town in the Jasper County. Like area.
Okay.
So
he's like a superstar, pastor and a politician. And he's known.
And a car salesman. You missed the last one.
Yeah, that's true. There you go.
So that's mom and dad. I've got 2 siblings. My sister is a hairdresser, and she's head hostess lead at Perkins, and she loves it. She's a killer waitress.
So you say your sister's a hairdresser. So I wanted to ask you, don't you do some salon work and stuff, right? Like
yes. So I tattoo faces. So I do like permanent makeup and permanent like eyebrows and eyeliner. So I get to like give part of like my aesthetic effect on the world. It's like it's a really cool way to like be with people and get to like give them positivity. That's
awesome. How'd you get into that? Like
I was 17 and talking to my hairdresser at the time. Her name's Tina Brown, and I was like, I hate the way the school system works. From kindergarten up until senior year, you're taught to ask to go to the bathroom. Senior year comes around, your guidance counselors who's never met like talk to you or like been around you before. They're like, hey David, where do you want to go to college?
Right.
Where do you want to spend $20,000 a semester? And I was never a kid that like knew I wanted to be a vet since I was like 5. So I was like, can I go to the bathroom? Because I still had to ask permission.
Yeah.
You know, like that's crazy. Like having that like disconnect of not being allowed to like choose to go to the bathroom, but I have to like make those decisions.
Yeah, school's weird.
So, then we went into the conversation of tattoos, and I said that I would have like a full sleeve by the time I'm dead.
And how old were you when you declared this?
17.
Okay.
So the day after we turned 18, I went down to Texas to learn how to do permanent makeup, and I've been doing it since I was 18. So I've been doing it for 5 years.
So that was just on a whim, kind of? Like you were just like, I'm gonna...
Yeah, I just like immediately decided that like having the freedom of like my scheduling and like being able to like be with people but not have to... I can't cut hair. I can't deal with people like myself.
Yeah. That's
in the hair aspect, I was like, no, you would have to deal with like me, and that's not okay.
Yeah, I mean, women's hair, I'm sure it can get intense if you can't fuck that up.
Right.
Fuck that up.
I wouldn't risk it.
Yeah, right, exactly. So your sleeve declaration is, I mean, pretty much there, right?
Yes.
Correct. And so, did you start working on that right away?
So
like when you said that, were you like, let's go? I'm getting tattoos right away, like.
No, I had to think about the first thing that I started with it, and the first thing that I put on my arm was a lion.
I do love that work. It's very good. Oh, look at that shit.
It's so yeah. So wow. Should I explain it?
Yeah, let's do it. Why not? What's I mean, you don't have to if you don't want to.
I don't
Okay.
care to.
Okay, that's fine. Don't worry about it. The artwork looks great though. It looks like the color. I really like the colors. It's fucking dope.
Thank you.
Damn.
The guy who did it is named Hot Rod. He works.
Hot Rod. I like
he
it.
owns 3 places in Iowa. One of them is Sovereign Tattoo. That's in, I believe, Johnston. The Asylum in Ames. He owns that one, and then he is the owner of Hot Rod's Underground Lounge in Newton. So I don't even have to like travel to get my tattoos done.
That's what's
I
up.
love it.
Nice. Man, did you get a good like plug on that or what? Like, I would have more tattoos if I could fucking afford them. Like, I can't just keep getting tattoos. Like,
My best friends are tattoo artists.
Ooh,
it helps.
Nice.
It super helps.
That definitely helps.
Yep.
But yeah, well, were you the test dummy when they were like learning?
Yeah, and that's part of why I have like lifelong tattoos.
Yeah.
So one of my first tattoos is I got.
Well, all tattoos are lifelong.
But like, I get lifelong free tattoos.
Oh, I see
I
what
can
you're
go in and
saying.
get them whenever I need. Yeah. No. He had to do an all black one to prove that he could even do a tattoo. Like the shop was like, yeah, put an all black something on one of your friends and like let's
That's what
teach
you have to do. That's like a part of it.
Yeah, to show that he had any skill and that people were willing to come see him. I don't know. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
it was like his
okay.
first step. So I got an all black, and at that time the Above the Influence commercials were out. You know, where like they had the kid like melting.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh
Be
my
Above the
God, do I
Influence.
remember those?
And there was
Yes,
a circle
yes.
with an arrow in it. He tattooed that on me. But it's like all degraded and eroding and stuff like that.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. It was like what should have been a 15-minute tattoo took like an hour and a half of solid like black pounding. Oh, it hurts so
Well, that's
bad.
always the worst. I mean, from my tattoos, like the shading, but like on like the black parts, was just like.
And it's right by my knee. They were like picking on me and making fun of me. It's like I've been here for over an hour.
Oh
It
my
hurts.
God, dude.
But
That's
now-
funny. So you're the
now-
test dummy.
Yeah,
but
now he's way better. Now I mean we get working on the arm.
Damn, that's what's up. So you still get that's yeah. See,
Right.
like, man, I've always wondered. You know, like I'm seeing like kids nowadays. You know, like younger and younger having tattoos and stuff like that.
an
How
investment.
are there fucking kids in high school with full sleeves and shit? I'm like, their friends must know how to do tattoos or something because like, there's no fucking way you have like the thousands of dollars.
Well,
Like,
it's. I mean, I see people like spending tons of money on coffee and food or clothes.
Yeah,
you know what I
guess
mean?
you're
There's all
right.
different types of things. Like we just save up over time, and like my wife doesn't get free work. She goes and pays $600 for her neck piece.
Right.
You
yeah,
know
but
what I mean?
like,
We just
but,
gotta
I,
build
but
up
I
to
guess
that.
I'm referring more to like these kids, like kids with sleeves. I'm confused about.
Younger
Younger
than
kids.
18.
Yeah, like in high school, I even remember
Traded the
playing,
car their parents got them.
Yeah, like I don't even know how you're getting. That was always more mind blowing to me than actually just being willing to get the tattoo. It was just like, how are you affording to get all these tattoos?
Yeah.
I never could figure it out.
It
But I
costs.
do know what you mean. I mean, if you really want it,
You have
and
to save up.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to make sure that my tattoos are all meaningful. So like, then it's like stuck in your head. It's like you have to get it almost. It's like one of those things. So I totally get you make the money for that.
I'm to the point where I don't know if I can find meaning to put into all my tattoos.
Yeah.
I get them because they like make me happy now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
My
that-
first one had like 6 meanings, and now it's just like, yeah, let's do that one.
Yeah, that one makes that one right. I just like how it looks, right?
Yeah.
I like that too. I'm not saying every tattoo has that. Just like mine,
No.
I don't have a bunch, but
I think it's a thing. Like as you get to around 20 tattoos, you get to the point it's like I don't have much more meanings to
I
stay
just want
alive.
cool shit. I just want shit to look cool.
Well, and like or affect you in the right way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like why do you wear the socks you wear? Or why do you wear the shirt you wear?
Right.
You know what I mean? Like
Totally.
there's like something that like catches you.
What is up with the tattoo addiction? Because that's a real thing. You know, like once you get one, you're like, oh, I want to get another one right away. Like, is it the needle?
For me, it's the edge. Like we're not okay. So let's like where the edge of the tattoo doesn't meet where another tattoo is, or there's
yeah,
blank
I
space.
totally feel
I just
you.
keep like stamping myself to try to like fill the spaces that are most like
Yeah.
prevalent. You know what I mean? It's like, oh, that's too obvious. Bloop. Oh, there's another hole. Bloop.
I totally feel you. I mean, that's how I feel like. I mean, that's how I create music. Is like I feel like when there's like like that gap bothers me or something like that bothers me. So it's like it's the same kind of thing. It's like,
Yep.
But I think there's got to be something chemically about tattoo addiction because I think it's real. Like once you get one, I just wonder if it's the needle. It's like that pain. Like, it's not even super painful, but something about that.
It's
like,
real as fuck. Can I say fuck on that?
You can say it. Yeah,
Okay.
we were just smoking a bowl.
Good.
Yeah.
That's cool. No, it's real as fuck. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think that's the part that most people like are like striving for in life is to figure out what's real. And so sometimes that like through like good or bad, there's different means to get there. But like that moments that it hits. You know what I mean? Like when somebody's tattooing your ribs, like you can't be anywhere else but like right there now.
That's true.
And that's so hard for some people to find that I think that's where they find the values in like that.
Well, that's like the workout addiction too. Like if you like a hardcore workout,
yes.
and like
I think that's with anything.
Yeah,
I think
it really
I think
is, you're right.
everything in the experience, everything in our reality is trying to express that. I think that's like the core of it.
Yeah. mean, the whole goal is losing yourself in whatever it is, and then you're
or
like,
finding yourself. It's like the
Yeah.
same side of the same coin,
right,
opposite
yeah.
sides.
That's
Yeah.
interesting. It's the same thing.
Lose the like the conceptual self and find like the stillness. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know better words. I have to just like speak like a yogi.
What are words, guys? What are words?
Let's not go down that rabbit hole.
I know, right? All right, we're gonna talk about music and stuff in a second. We're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Oh, hey there! I'm here to tell you about our new event services. If you go to passionparkent.com, one of the tabs on the top of the page now says Plan Your Event. We have finally organized things and gotten together after years of planning events in the first place. We are now ready to help you customize your release party, album listening party, it's just a special performance, maybe an intimate pop-up shop in a creative space, all sorts of events, specifically music or film related, because we do have experience in those avenues, or art as well. But we would love to help you customize your event. So we have different tiers and packages that are listed now. If you go to our website and see the full layout there, you'll see all the services we have and the different tiers you can work with. But we also are willing to customize all those for your particular needs, as we are just looking to help people with the release of their projects, or we're looking to just help you share your vision as the best you can, as we have some experience doing that over the past couple of years. So we are finally organized and we are ready to go. We are live. We are ready for you to submit your event, and we will help you plan it. So please go to passionparkent.com to learn more and enjoy the rest of today's interview. What a long and crazy break that was.
And we're back.
Podcast commercial breaks are alarmingly long. You never know how long it really was. All right, so yeah, let's first off, you guys are the best for bringing treats. I think you guys might be maybe the first people to bring treats. I've had people on who brought like alcohol, but you brought donuts and Sour Patch. That's amazing.
We saved them through a couple other meetings to make sure we had them for you.
Yeah.
Wow, I am blown away by this. This is amazing. Oh my god. Okay, so I love how you were seem really passionate about your craft of the tattooing, the face tattooing, like all that stuff. Like, it's so interesting to me because like there's everything can be looked at as an art, as an art form, like really, and like doing hair or like salon work. Or eyebrow work or anything like that. Like, that is absolutely an art form. So I love that you approach it from that. What got you there? Did you like other forms of art? Were you an artist in high school? Did you paint or something? Like, what got you to that kind of mindset? Because that's not like, not everybody thinks that way. You know what I mean?
So ever since I was in second grade, I've been drawing on like graph paper. You know, like what mandalas are, like the swirly, like happy, like Indian, like very symmetrical but circle shaped. I do like the square versions of that.
Okay.
So like I'll find like geometrical shape patterns and replicate them on sides of paper or follow patterns. Like, I'm really good at hanging mirrors, like symmetrically, like picture frames. It's just like.
Did you love geometry class? Like...
No, actually I hated it.
Really?
Yeah.
I hated it too, but I'm just curious because it's shapes.
Algebra.
Isn't that else? Okay.
I was an algebra kid, but. So I was drawing on graph paper. There was a kid in second grade, my crush at the time.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was like, you could sell those on eBay, and I was like,
I'm
hooked. So like I started drawing on them, and I never stopped.
Did you start selling them on eBay?
No.
I thought you were gonna tell me some crazy success story about this. This would be amazing. I was like,
no, I did not start selling them on eBay.
Not yet.
Yeah, exactly.
We have a back stock.
Right. Let's find this kid. Let's have him write the business plan.
We expect them to pop off, so we want to make sure we have a warehouse for
I like it. That's so funny.
So it just kind of started making sense, and whenever I'm out, I'm like in full like makeup faced, like, and it's like one of my favorite times is like getting ready, so that when someone asks me what I can do, it's like you're seeing it. So it's always fun to like be out and show people like what I can do for them when they're like not there. Yeah, I love that. So, but that got you like, since you were drawing and stuff like that, that got you thinking that now you can apply that kind of like thought process to like
any form of work or whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah, that's I love it. I wish more people were open-minded like that. But like just in the way they thought, because I think it's important to like just approach different way. Like I was always an athlete growing up, and then like I kind of became an artist like later on in my life, and I find value in having both of those. Like the competition actually is valuable to me, but it's also I'm always so like mad at myself that I wasn't more open to like doing like theater stuff when I was younger and shit like that. Like why the fuck do you even like why are kids so prone to like stay in one lane or something like that?
I was so blessed that my school was so small in that regards that I got to do band and chorus and theater, but I was also an athlete. I played football and track. And
that's
soccer.
great.
Oh, it was so wonderful.
That's great.
Yeah.
Like in college, I played basketball, and I finally my senior year I had electives, and I decided to take theater class, and I wanted to start acting, and that was huge, and that kind of snowball effect and led me to a bunch of stuff, but like there never was athletes in the theater program or anything like that.
Right.
So interesting. I'm like, why? Even in college.
They usually function during the same time. Like you either
Yeah, that's true.
Friday night theater performance or Friday night football.
And that's true. Yeah.
The classic.
But like our school was so small that they couldn't function. That you couldn't have a football team unless the theater kids played. You
Yeah,
couldn't,
you
like,
need
put on
it.
performance unless
Oh,
the football-
okay.
like,
See,
they're
there's
just that
value.
small.
That's the value of having like a small
So
thing
good.
like that.
Except for I woke up at 7 and I went to like 9 p.m. every night because I would go to soccer practice and I'd go to theater practice and I'd finish up with jazz practice and I'd wake up at 6 a.m. and go back to jazz.
I know that sounds like a lot, and it is a lot, but when you're young, like I think I think more kids need that shit again. Like I think like kids got away from that. Like dude, having like
That was the best
8
parts of
extracurricular activities or whatever, that's
Like-
fucking great.
Yeah,
like the value of good parenting, like just alone, it speaks wonders.
Absolutely. But if you're doing 8 extracurricular activities, you're minimizing even the shitty parenting by just keeping them doing shit. Like,
Yeah.
That's the thing with the schools. What kept like their mantra was like, we will keep you out of trouble by just doing stuff. Like everybody was almost required to be in something.
Yeah,
they were
that
so
makes
like attentive.
a ton of sense.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
And then you're gonna find trouble when you find trouble anyways. Like I mean, but like,
Yeah, but there's like 5% of the population who will do that. You know what I mean? And it
Right.
was like super obvious when they weren't in any of the athletics. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was crazy what they did. I grew up in like a very like 1950s setting. I feel like.
Yeah, right. Like that's great. So then how? So you got into music then in high school then, or grade school, or
Yeah, I've always had an aptitude towards music.
Really?
My dad DJ'd when I was younger, and so I
Really?
go to like weddings with him and help him like cue up cassette tapes.
So what was his go-to record that you remember like from as a kid that he would play all the time or something?
The one he affected me most with was Rush 2112 A-side.
Okay, I'm not familiar. I gotta.
So it's like a 45-minute long music. Like they're individual songs, and sometimes you even hear one of the songs on the radio. But it tells a story of like man's own destruction by his creativity. You go through a little bit of time. A man's wandering down the woods. He finds a guitar by the stream, starts playing it, and he's like, "Oh my God, what is this? What are these feelings? What is this music?" And like comes to himself and like presents it to the overlords that end up taking over Earth, like the aliens that helped us destroy ourselves. And they're like, "No, we already know about this. Destroy it. You need to destroy it for yourself."
Is it a movie or a song?
It's a song.
Great.
It's a 45-minute song.
That's amazing.
And as he walks away, he's like playing his guitar, and he's like, "I can't destroy this. I'm going to destroy myself instead." And he kills himself.
Oh shit!
Oh shit!
Oh, dark.
and it's Rush. It's like so deep. There's so much to every like But that's the one. That or Joan Jett. Those are the two. Like
I love that though. But so music definitely affected you like early on. Like you
super early.
That's
my mom was gonna make my dad throw away all of his vinyl records. He had like 2 or 3 crates of them, right? And he really didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
So he gave them all to me. But
Nice.
Like you can have these, Seth, so that we could stash them for my mom. But he showed me a few of them, and that was like one of them. Like, so I had all of his records growing up.
So did you play any instruments growing up, or?
Yeah, trumpet was my main one.
Okay.
So I'm
awesome.
very good at trumpet.
That's out. So did you still play?
Nope.
No.
No.
But you played like seriously for a while. Like,
I did. Yeah. No, I loved every minute of it.
Why don't you play anymore?
I have new musical talents now.
Okay. Yeah.
And like what I'm doing now is I have mad respect for people who play individual instruments, and I love. We were just talking about this the other day. Some of the best parts of my life were like I was in a very good concert band.
Oh,
We
okay.
played like
Nice.
very big sounding stuff,
Yeah.
and like for like long periods of times we went to competitions and did very well. And like being part of a movement like that was like it's moving. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it like clicked things I don't think I would have got any other way.
Video editing is the magic. That's where the magic of any movie happens or anything. You can change a whole entire story from back like very interesting, and it's not a the pretty job. Like you're just like in a computer like all fucking day. Yeah,
moving like a slider a little bit to hit the right hit point.
Right.
Yeah, no, it's brutal.
And they never. I mean, they get some credit. They get some credit in the credits and stuff, but it's not a glorious job. But they make the fucking movie. I'm impressed by it. Anyway, so we had a little hiccup there, but let's get back into talking about your music stuff. So you played in a concert band, and that was like it can be like a moving experience because that's like a very collective, like working towards the same thing.
To fall in line. And I was in high school. I was a very ornery individual, so it like helped me pull myself back a little bit.
Oh, okay,
that was good. But yeah, no, at that time too, my dad was still DJing, so that was
Oh,
always
really?
a constant. Yeah, no. By the time I graduated high school, I probably DJ'd over 100 weddings.
Oh wow!
I probably did like 20 to 30 different clubs by the time I was 18.
So how often was he DJing like full time? Like how often was he DJing? Like, or did he have like a regular?
He had
another
social
job too?
circles he ran in. Yeah, he had. Yeah, this was purely part time.
Oh, okay,
And
all right.
It was so gangster. He had like 2 CD players. One was a 5-disc changer. He had like a Radio Shack mixer.
Shit.
He had
Radio
some,
Shack.
speakers that would actually plug in with speaker wire. You know what I mean? Like, but like. It was just the circles. Nobody, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Small town Iowa.
No,
had anything different.
Yeah. No, you can totally make that be a gig. I totally get that.
We actually, his lighting rig was 3. Like we put 2x4 structures, and then we put normal like the circle lights that you have in the ceiling, and then we tied them all together to this big wooden box that had all these light switch boards. So I could control 12 different lights with this like light switch board thing. It was so
Dude,
good.
that's probably innovative at the time too. Like especially in like a
It was
town
fun.
like that, I'm sure people were like, "Well, we don't know how do you even do this shit."
Yeah, right.
That's awesome.
It was a good time. But yeah, no. So that would be my influence, I guess.
So then that got you into DJing, obviously.
Yeah.
And that's where you're at now. You're still DJing, correct?
Yeah, that's my main passion.
So,
now.
because you said when I asked you about if you still play trumpet or whatever, you're like, no, I have different musical avenues. So, what do you like? What's your area of expertise, should I say, in DJing? Like
turntablism.
Okay.
Yeah. So like, I consider it like the Mozart of sound. Like I like to go out and find the best, like Mozart did, the best trumpeter, the best clarinetist, the best flutist, and put them together. And like I like all different styles of music, and I put pools of them together based on like their feelings they give me.
Yeah.
And then like I like vibing. Like I need an hour, so at the end of the hour you understand what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like I can't show you a song about like what my sound is, but like in an hour we will have like experienced something together.
Ups
you know
and
what
downs,
I mean?
Ups and downs, valleys,
The
peaks,
flips, the twists, it's a very it's a spiritual thing for me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I mean?
That's great. I wonder if I don't know if you might be the first DJ conversation I think we've had like this. I don't know if all DJs think that way or go that in depth with it, but it's beautiful that you have that close of a relationship with the music.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I think any DJ or producer who gets to a certain level has spent enough time in music that they understand some semblance of that. You know what I mean? Like,
you have to.
What are you doing in this music? And like, when does it become noise? You know what I mean? Like, when does it go from noise to music? Like everybody around it has to like experience that.
So, do you make any original music of your own? Or have you? I mean, I know
I have, yeah. And like I've been on a few projects and done things of that nature. Nothing like that I would say like defined my sound.
Yeah,
like I couldn't show you a compilation that like would like appropriately.
But that's not like
demonstrate.
that's not your.
It's like an event based thing. Like this, like he's performing for groups of people. Like it's not just like on one listening. It's like a group project kind of. Like it's the cool part about like, especially like EDM music is that like it's an experience while you're there. It's not like you're not like going for the individual, you're going for the feeling that the individual brings to the group.
Yeah, I actually, so I am not too like into the electronic scene, but my friends are like a lot, and so like they always go to these stuff, and I really love the love aspect of it, and the togetherness for it, and like it's like there's just like no issue, like there never is like there's like fights don't happen at that shit.
No
like,
hardness,
no
density at all.
Yeah, I really do love that. Like there's something to that. Like that's the point. I think there's a great energy, like
especially like festivals and like I like doing like experience events where we do like overnight in a warehouse.
Oh, that's great. That's
like New
great.
Year's we did this was a cool experience. One room was techno, and it's some of the best techno kids, techno guys in Iowa.
And it's all local talent and
all local.
And
then the other stage was like crazy new age bass, like not rhythm. I'm talking like very like wonky, crazy sounds, and lots of lights, TVs. And the other room had like minimal lights. Was cold,
like 10 degrees colder.
House and techno.
It was about the size of a basketball court, and there was a wall in the middle of it. So you had all of that on one side and all of it on the other, and you could like go in between and out of the rooms. And it was like just completely different. Being
the contrast.
So the sound really like it stuck in the room well. That's awesome.
Yes. The craziest part was like you'd walk to this room and it'd feel so like techno and how like there was such a vibe, and then you go to the other room like it was both professional level vibes. It was just like amusement park to like.
And this was in Des Moines? You guys ran this?
This was in Cedar Rapids.
Okay, nice. And so this was an event that you performed at or that you guys helped run? Or
I helped host.
Oh, that's
awesome. I was
awesome.
a co-host on. So I have a company and I work with in a collective.
Okay.
So we have a few things going. We got House of Leopold, which is what we ran that stage through.
House of Leopold?
House of Leopold.
Okay.
Which is like, we have like a graphic design company, like a social media consulting company and building and like planning company.
Oh, that's awesome.
We call ourselves like a startup. We could do so many pieces that if anybody has like a goal or a dream, we can build everything around you to like make that happen.
Nice.
Like, at a professional level, like we could build a business around you.
Okay.
So that's kind of what that is. But we do a lot of like promotions and events and stuff like that. And then we're starting to, But yeah, that's what hosted that event. But then
And that was the New Year's event? That's awesome.
Yeah,
it was super cool. And then my favorite times are like festival times. Like there's like 6 Iowa festivals, if I remember right. It's like Culture, we have 515 Alive, Basewoods, Cosmic.
515 Alive. Didn't Austin perform at one of these? He did some festival there, I think.
I think he might have performed at 515 Alive.
Not at 515.
I think he did like a guest on somebody's spot.
He comes out there with me.
Oh yeah.
So
wait, that was okay.
So I do a thing and like like I was just saying, like I like finding the best of each thing. Like I like finding the best flutist, the best trumpetist, and mixing them in. So I'll go from like heavy hip hop into like EDM music back to hip hop. You know what I mean? Like I'll mix around, but I'll bring out live performers. So as I do like an hour-long set, I'll mix his song in, and all of a sudden he'll come out and like start rapping and like shake up the crowd crazy.
Yeah, that's sweet.
It's a cool experience for me as a DJ. Like it mixes up my like whole vibe. It's a cool experience for him because everybody's different level engaged. All of a sudden they like snap back to reality and like they're in his face, and the crowd's just like.
That's
live.
You know, that's crazy. Yeah, like what just happened?
Yeah, and so like the last show we did together in Iowa was for an event called Frequency, and I brought out 6 hip hop groups, talent things in an hour and 15 minutes.
That's
awesome. Crazy. Yeah. And after each one, I would like switch directions and give you like a whole nother vibe for like 5, 10, 15 minutes, then bring out another one, and like it was so much fun.
Dude, I love that. That's how more shows should be. So, you know, not should be. I mean, I like the just keeping it going. Like so, like you can run a showcase like that. Like you can legitimately.
That's my current dream. One of them.
I love that. Like
your attention needs to be snagged.
Yeah, and like I don't know, man. Like I've hosted a bunch of events. Like we used to do a showcase, and I hosted that. And like you do dialogue in between, you do those things. And I was thinking recently, like, is there a way to do a whole show where you just don't end it? Like, you just you just like you don't. There's not really like the dialogue thing. It'll just be like a quick like that kind of vibe. And then before you know it, it's just like a 2-hour show and it's done. It's like that.
In EDM, I would say like half the stress of DJing is figuring out how to make the show that way. There is no stops in a 5-hour show of an
you just going.
Even at like a shitty bar, there's like 10 people at. The DJs are out there like, how can we plug this board into that board to make sure there's no sound loss? I'll play this song right away. You fade out and have it.
The transitions are so clutch.
Yep.
But I'm like, I feel like that's important with EDM, but I feel like you can do that with other genres. I feel like it's possible, but it's just hard with bands and stuff.
Bands is impossible because there's so much stuff.
You gotta transfer everything.
Unless you could have them like.
You have a
on
DJ.
a platform, just like.
I think hip hop's almost overwhelming. Like people don't want to drink 3 coffees in a row.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean?
No, I do.
And like nobody listens to Lil Yachty 17 songs deep.
Yeah.
Like nobody does that. You know what I mean? Like you shuffle play and Lil Yachty comes up every so often. And I think like mixing that.
Well, there's certain hip hop artists that will.
Oh, don't get me wrong. Like the Carter 2 or something like that. I'm listening front to back.
Right. Like there's like there's like certain artists that play that, but then like a lot of
most of them are not.
I totally.
And the energy isn't something you want to sit in for a half hour. People like will stay for like 5-10 minutes and leave. That's just like a natural thing we're doing.
That's why I like the cross genre. I like cross genres. I've been doing a lot of like cross genre shows.
If hip hop artists will let go of their set planning and allow somebody that like wants to set plan, and like if you do 5 artists and you just keep mixing them out,
See, that's that's awesome. You have to like almost rehearse, like not rehearse, but least everybody has to be on the same page. Like everybody just
or
has to-
trusting the same thing
Yeah.
or way or something. You know what I mean? The same vision. That's hip hop. EDM's so new. This is how I see it. EDM's so new. It doesn't have a culture yet, and everybody's so loving and caring that it's kind of not like evolving into anything other than that. Where hip hop isn't. It is very culturized.
Yeah.
And there's like genres within hip hop, like way like
Absolutely.
that matter way more than like the hip hop EDM genres currently do. And
Well,
I think
it's older.
that's-
I mean,
and
it's older.
It changes your style. It changes your viewpoint of like how aggressive you need to push, or like how you view the world is like. That's how I see like a hip hop artist style is like what the way they rap is their view of the world. You know what I mean? It's their flow.
Yeah.
That's literally what they like call it.
Yeah, I hear you.
Or like EDM artists, there's some ditches that like pull people apart, but for the most part, it's so broad that people aren't like rooted like.
Well, it's interesting when a genre, I mean, is like not based on words at all. Like, you know what I mean? Like, there's really not much dialogue.
My favorite part.
I know. I think it's great, but it's interesting because then how do you categorize something? Like, because that means you have to feel something that like it's hard to explain to somebody. Like, are we really feeling the same thing? Like, how do I really know? You know, like.
And a lot of like I like looking at how DJs organize things. A lot of DJs like dump it in by the date they downloaded it. Some DJs will organize it by like the rhythmic patterns, make it different styles like EDMs.
Like,
I organize mine by feelings. Like this is my bass chill folder. This is my fuck yeah turn it up
Fuck
folder.
yeah.
This is my always go to. This is sexy folder.
Nice.
You know what I mean? Like that way when I'm like
The sexy folder is just like Justin Timberlake.
Oh, you know how
like,
deep it is.
I'm bringing sexy.
Yeah, no, and then when I'm there, it's like being like a cook and like this needs more salt. You know what I mean? Like I could like throw it in. I know where my salt folder's at.
Oh, dude, that's why music's great and art's great. It's because there's no one answer. You're just constantly making new stuff and nobody. Yeah,
At an accelerated rate.
Oh yeah,
there's
dude,
so much like
so
in the
much
music
content.
world. There's so much stuff being pumped out.
I know it's kind of overwhelming. Like it's I used to always. I felt like growing up, I was like the first on new music like all the time.
Right.
Like before I was an artist, like I was just like always having new music. I was really focused on that. And then as I've become an artist myself, it's that's gradually changed a little bit because it's more like I'm just like constantly working on my own shit.
Right.
But it's also like I think overwhelmed with all this new shit. There's just like constantly new shit. So like I pick and choose the guys that I want to listen to and like.
Yep.
And then I'll try to listen to some new stuff, but I don't know how you.
Or
keep
you
up
find
with
a
everything.
platform that allows you to cycle a whole bunch of things.
Yeah.
That's what I like.
What do you guys listen to music on? What do you use?
I use Spotify and SoundCloud to find new music.
Okay, you do.
And then I have like
Do you have Spotify Premium?
Spotify Premium. I do.
Yeah. Okay.
Yep.
I use app. Do you use anything? Do you have any of those? Like.
I use Google Play.
You do? Okay.
Yes, I love Google Play. I love their algorithm for like their radio stations. I can like it's if I thumbs up or thumbs down, it's not just based on the artist. It's based on the feeling of the music.
Okay.
Like so, it really
Kind of like Pandora. That's isn't that the idea of it, right?
Yes, but the end of the algorithm on Pandora is a different feeling than what it is on Google Play.
Oh, okay. I didn't know Google Play was like that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. I love all of their like viewings of things. Like it seems just crisper and cleaner.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man. Do you have Android or do you have an iPhone?
I have an iPhone.
You just got the Google Play.
I'm a Google gal.
I'm a Google gal. I like that. A Google gal. That's your new handle. Is at Google gal.
At Google gal.
That's okay. So I don't know if I know anybody who uses Google Play, but that's interesting. That's because everything's on there, right? Everything like all the normal shit's on there, right?
Yeah, everything is completely on there, and it's like the new releases are there, and and I also get like YouTube Premium because of it. I think.
Oh, that's awesome. Because I was thinking about doing that. Because you know what sucks about YouTube? If you don't have the premium, you can't. If you're on your phone, you can't close it. The fuck.
Yeah.
I just want to hear something.
I don't ever hear commercials ever.
Oh, that's awesome.
So it's always weird to be around like people that have like commercials. I'm like, oh, I heard a commercial for this.
That's cool. Yeah, right. What is a commercial?
Yeah, like what?
Yeah, right. I'm thinking about getting YouTube TV. I'm thinking about it because we have regular cable still. I'm still paying for that. It's archaic kind of, but
yeah, that's expensive.
It's because of sports. I know, but I don't want to get rid of it because of sports and stuff.
YouTube or Netflix is my core. Hulu is like my secondary, and then every so often I turn on Amazon Prime, like when I need like the HBO shows and stuff when they come out.
Amazon Prime? When they come out, I see what you mean. Yeah, Amazon Prime is clutch. I don't have it anymore, but I think I'm gonna try to get my mom's password. But
there you go.
Wait, what's the show on there that I want to watch? Oh, The Marvelous Miss Maisel, I think, is on Amazon Prime. I want to watch that. But are you guys watching anything? Are you watching any shows now or anything?
I really love the show Adam Ruins Everything.
I haven't seen this. People have told me about this. I haven't watched this.
I love his like witty version of explaining knowledge that's the total devil's advocate like side of something. He's like, and he's saying it in that way where he's like nodding like this, like it's just like it's just that attitude the entire time, so it's fun to watch. So.
And yeah, what is he doing? He's just I don't remember exactly.
He's explaining like misconceptions about things from his point of view.
Oh, okay.
And he's like sourcing his items, which are super fun. Like he'll usually give a fact and then source it. Like the idea of, have you guys ever seen Vsauce? So Vsauce is a super intellectual YouTuber. Then like when YouTube was bought out, they started doing like premium things, and that's another thing you could watch on YouTube. Really.
There he is. Yeah. And is YouTube paying you?
No.
I wish.
Shout out.
Right.
And he talks about like all sorts of like cool scientific, like social, like experiments. It's like the Twilight Zone, but the actual educational.
Oh, okay. See, the educational shows are more popular than they've ever been now. It's very interesting.
People are trying to learn.
Yeah, I know. I mean, I think the acceleration of podcast popularity is huge into that. Actually,
I like.
Yes.
I like you're saying, like podcast learning and stuff like that. I don't like I think History Channel learning has gone down the tube.
Yeah, exactly. I totally agree.
Everything feels so sensationalized.
Yeah.
And it's like, how are you sensationalizing ancient Egypt?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, why are you trying to like pitch me on watching through the commercials?
I think people are like, cut the bullshit. There's like cool ways to learn. There's like cool ways to learn now.
Just
like,
tell me what you think you know.
Yeah, like I always hated science and sucked at science growing up, and then now I hear like some people talk about this shit, and I'm like intrigued because like probably they're just talking about it in a way that intrigues me. It's not some monotone high school teacher who doesn't want to have that job. It's like fucking yeah.
Well, and we're in the age of Aquarius, which is the dawning of knowledge, and that happened like 3 years ago or something like that. So
Wait, say that one more time.
We're in the age of Aquarius.
Okay, so what does that
So
mean?
that's the dawning of knowledge.
Really?
Yeah, she pours out knowledge onto us.
So Aquarius is one of the astrological zodiac signs, and so we're in the age of Aquarius. Like
it just started.
Yes, like and like this is the first month for like the Aquarius sign people. So if you have any birthdays out there, happy birthday. But like she is an air sign, and she carries a basin of water, and she's like pouring it out.
And the dawn of knowledge is like the age of consciousness. Like we're starting to there's such an accelerated rate of everything that even science is starting to say the same thing that like the religions have been pointing at. You know what I mean? Where like all the languages are starting to make sense.
Yeah.
Like that's what the age of Aquarius was predicted to do.
Wow, dude, this is kind of fascinating stuff. I'm not too into. Actually, one of the last guests I had on is very much. We were talking about this a little bit. I've never been that into like zodiac stuff. I've never kept that up. And I was gonna ask, are you into that stuff or like that much or like?
I come to understand that everything is saying the same thing. Like how we were saying everything's trying to express the same thing. I think everything's trying to say the same thing. It's the same side of a different side of the same coin. I think that like some people can read palms, some people can read the stars. There are things the patterns do make sense, and if you can identify the pattern, you can tell the same story. And so like I'm not into the stars, but like sometimes some people mention something and I know it's like I'll Google it real quick because that's like the universe trying to tell me something. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like I get a message and it's like the fortune makes so much sense that I know that it's like the synchronicity or irony of it. Like I think the realest the universe can be to you is irony. So for example, me and you are staring at that box, right? And we both see it as a form of red. Well, my red might be your blue. There's so many ways that we might distort this, but out of all the ways that I've seen that we can share realities and express, like showing things, talking about things, irony is the only one where I can guarantee that me and you are seeing the same point and the same experience. When I say, that was ironic, and you're like, yeah, too. Me too, I see that as ironic. There's no other way out of it. We are seeing the same irony. Yeah. Irony is God's language. If you live in irony and synchronicity, if ironic things are consistently happening to you, you are living one of the highest forms of yourself. Like you are in what the universe is making for you.
That's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
It's very fun living.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That okay. So you're that okay. All right. No. Because I actually get it.
Yeah, I think that's what Buddha was talking about. I think that's what mostly Jesus was talking about. Like the word that like Maslow's hierarchy, where you first need like water, then you need shelter. The top of that pyramid is called actualization, and that's where you like I believe you can attain this like it's not a knowing. It's like an understanding. You let loose. The weight off your shoulders gone. You don't stress about things, worry no more.
Yeah, but what about just like reaffirming something that you're already kind of thinking, like reaffirming your own consciousness? You know what I mean? Like, because that happens all the time. I feel like, you know, and actually I don't think there's anything wrong with that, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that is like, rather than something just being like helpful, it just reaffirms something that you already were thinking of sometimes.
So reaffirmation to me is pointing to irony.
That
You know
was
what I mean?
right. That's kind of what I mean.
And like as I was finding myself, I definitely got to steps. I was like, I saw all these pillars, but I didn't have the bridges built. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like there was things I stood for and knew were right, even that my parents didn't teach me or people were doing around me. And like I understood things. Once I started like
But you didn't
going
understand
inward,
why,
it like
really.
built these bridges, and it was like it's all the same thing. Like I just understood some like core self things that made everything else make sense that didn't make sense. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah, you got to tear down those walls and build them back up.
And I think that's even what the stars are saying is like that kind of knowing or like knowing of yourself is going to become more prevalent in speech and people's like experience. People are actually going to start understanding themselves on a deeper level. It's going to be like more shared in the consciousness. Like that is what the stars are saying are happening. And I see it happening. I hear people talking about zodiac all the time now.
I do too. It's like
And
a popular thing.
And it's because like people see the irony of it. They see it when it lines up and they're
Well,
like, how's this working?
And the whole theme of consciousness and everything is really popular now, and people are talking about it more so than ever, probably.
Well, no, I think it's yeah, and even like our sciences are getting to the points where they're explaining things within consciousness, like the stuff that Stephen Hawking's working on. If you read anything about that, what he's talking about is like what is life.
Yeah, there's some fascinating. I actually heard a fascinating podcast the other day it was from like a scientist or something, but it was like some just like crazy stuff that they actually know. Well, actually, he was He was saying, if I remember correctly, something about they were like actually saying how you can like prove scientifically that the idea of soul, which is like whatever that is not really, like there's no room for that really in the like scientific, like if you break it down, it's like, well then what is it? Like
It's not separate.
it's
the
like
same thing.
it's like so it's all definition. That's
Right.
Yeah, my thing about everything really is the need for, I don't understand everybody's need for absolute truth and absolute fact and absolute it doesn't really like, there's no, why everybody needs that, and I think it's something in your brain, but it's not necessary. Like
I don't feel I ever get to truth anymore. I strive to find words to the things I feel and see at this point. You know what I mean? It's hard for me to like say what I know.
Right.
But I can like point at the things I feel are happening.
So I think
you know
metaphor.
what I mean?
That's why I think metaphor is so important.
Yeah.
Like stories.
Or other languages help me a lot. Like instead of soul, I say chi, because it's like I understand it in the way that I like was at when I heard that word, and like chi is more like an energy force. It's the same force that we all live in.
Your inner chi.
Your inner chi, and that doesn't take up space. Chi is everywhere.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, oh, that's what I think they meant by soul, but like I was taught way wrong.
So you said your dad's a pastor, right?
Yeah. So
what denomination, or would you go with?
So it's non-denominational, which is kind of like the a la carte version of
A la carte.
religion.
A la carte.
You know, like
A la carte.
So like,
I like that.
Like you kind of like pick and choose what you want to believe, and so like just depending on your own like extremity of it, like or your like lacks of it, is you're a Christian.
Right.
So like the idea is like you know accept your Lord and Savior as your God, and it's amazing, and people like love to like share his practice, and usually there are good people. But the crappy part of any religion or any like idea based thing with names behind it is that people suck.
Oh yeah.
You know, like if you look at the ideal version of any form of religion, they're all pretty kind of good. You know, they're all like not half bad. So.
Well, religion, it's just complicated. It's just like, it's
Yeah,
just
like,
complicated.
yeah,
It's just
same.
complicated.
Religion
It's just
complicated.
complicated. Yeah, it's just like, because there's a lot of good to it, and I totally hear you. But so you grew up, obviously, in the church, so did you like go to church every week? Was your dad like strict?
We were active. I was a very sheltered kid.
Really?
Yes,
Yeah.
I would. There's a lot of things that like we weren't allowed to watch, like Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh.
Oh,
like,
yeah?
That whole world of things was
Yeah.
like off limits. That's witchcraft. You know. Like,
Oh wow.
But like we have all like grown. You know, from that. That's like when I was a little kid.
Yeah,
So it's been cool to like grow up with those like guidelines and those like livings, and then being
And
like
they're expanding.
yes, and like being
Like your folks are expanding too, is what you're saying.
yes, it's awesome. It's like I've gotten to like become a really
It's so important.
cool friend to them.
It's to be around old people that are still growing is.
Oh, they're
I don't mean
Yeah,
old,
but, like,
but I mean like older people that are still growing is
they're
good,
cool.
because so many older people, like in my experience, there's just so many that are kind of stagnant or can be. And
There's a few older people in my life that, in my worst times, give me the greatest hope. Honestly, because it's something that's happening with them. It's different than what I feel. You know what I mean?
That's
if
awesome.
I looked up and didn't see anything changing, I would feel different.
Yeah, that's.
You know what I mean?
No, I do, because it's like, dude, what do you mean this is who you are? What do you mean this is who you are? It doesn't stop.
How do nobody talk about the things that are happening? You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I feel like my experience is so much different than whatever my parents were trying to like. I had great parents.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? Like, there's
just
such a disconnect from what we're experiencing in our reality and trying to share with each other than like what I heard my parents talking about, what was on TV, what their like shows.
It's a different world. Yeah, totally.
Like their comedy doesn't even make sense to me most of the time.
Yeah, well,
you know what I mean? Like
comedy's ever evolving. It's so
it
weird.
Is. But that shows something within the consciousness.
Yeah. Well, it definitely does. Well, like humans' brains have just evolved, and now it's so much faster. I mean, like just tone and pace, even that. Like
it's sexual nature.
Yeah.
Like, I was watching something the other day, and like he grabbed her ass, and I was like, whoa. You know what I mean? Like that's shocking to me. That's like a video stopper.
Dude, I just started watching Game of Thrones. Like, I know this is weird, but it's like throwback. But like, I decided I'll rewatch it. My girl watches it, and I was like, all right, let's get into it. So I'm gonna try it. And I don't know if that's really how the old times were, but it's so sexual. Like it's crazy, and like I don't know if that's how it was. Too. Well, of course you want to sexualize it, and like I get it. I get it, but like there's got to be some form of like it's based on something. Like I know those books, but like so where do they get all those ideas that everybody was naked and shit back in the day? There must have been some of that. Like there must have been.
There had to be.
You're like so it is interesting because humans have gone through like just like up and down waves of like sexuality and things like that. Like,
yeah, and I think sexuality is better expressed now. Like there's more sexuality. People are like not even defining themselves, but like finding their different like courses inside of sexuality, and we don't have to be as like fucked up sexual about it. You know what I mean? Like
it's not as tabooed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, with as much,
I think that might have helped it.
Yeah.
For sure.
It's that I totally agree. It's definitely not as taboo. Like with all the like turmoil in government and just how polarized people are on both sides and like whatever. I do still think we're headed in the right direction, man. Like as much as everybody's like, it's just easy to you hear the loud minorities. I mean, it's like easy to complain, but I actually think everything's going the right way. I mean, like generally speaking.
I think people are bitching louder because they see more. It's like fuck it is bad.
Yeah,
we have done really bad things for a really long time. You should see bad stuff. You know what I mean? But like the reaction will grow up. Yeah. It's the same thing. Like I think it's the older generation that elected where we're at right now and stuff. But like we went through maturity online. Like when we were conversating, like back in the day, I would call you an asshole or a dick licker. You know what I mean? Like our parents are in that generation right now. They're like maturing. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's
so to your point, I think in like 10, 15 years, they'll hit a maturity growth where it's like, that's where we were 10, 15 years ago. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like in the best way possible.
Because they've never had to do that like maturing of conversation through like the entire time we're in conversation with people.
Could you imagine going to school and not texting your friends every day? You know what I mean? That's what they did. Like they just went home and like had their families.
It's a whole different world.
There's a whole nother world.
Well, like you were talking about extracurricular activity. That's a hard word to say. Extracurricular.
Curricular. Yep.
But it's not the same anymore. I don't think kids have that many activities. Although I will say now with esports. Kids, I know it's funny because like I would always, you could roll your eyes at that. Like I would roll my eyes at that, like from back in the day. But now it's like a fucking thing.
Is it really?
Oh, kids are playing games like as an activity at school.
Oh, okay, I have seen that.
Yeah,
okay.
No.
I thought you were talking like virtual reality sports. I was like, that's sick.
Oh, I'm sure that'll be a thing too.
Yeah. I'll play on a virtual reality soccer team.
And give me a
I don't have to run.
Right. Holy cow! Oh well, that was good. It got pretty deep there. I like it. You guys got any events coming up or anything coming up?
Oh yeah, every weekend.
Always.
Every weekend?
Yeah, I'm back in Chicago in 2 weeks.
Yes.
For a Beard Thug show.
The 22nd and the 23rd.
Okay. Where's that?
That is at.
It is.
Let me check on my phone real quick.
Yeah, no problem.
And then I'm back at the same spot for like 3-4 weeks later with Lit Lords.
Okay.
And they're like an internationally touring like EDM dubstep. It's gonna be so
Dude, that's
hard.
awesome. I'm gonna have I'm gonna see if I can come out or something like that.
It is a group, yeah.
So the Beard Thug is February 22nd and Lit Lords is March 9th, and that's at Redemption Nightclub.
Okay. All right. Nice. Well, make sure you guys check that out. I'll post the links and stuff like that. We'll do that. Cool. Yeah. Is there anything that you want to plug or anything like right now? I know it does seem like we're winding up because we kind of are. I'm also very hungry.
I'm hungry too. We haven't ate any Chicago-ish type of dish yet. So that's what we gotta go do is like find a Chicago-ish.
Perfect. So yeah, I don't know how long that was. We did a good amount of time there. You guys feel good? You guys you feel good about it? I really appreciate you guys coming by. I think it was a good conversation.
Yeah.
I like that we were saying this to you last night. Is like I didn't ask too much. Like even last night, I was like, you know what? Let's just meet each other on camera, basically.
Cool.
And we'll just like.
Yeah, I enjoyed meeting you today.
Yeah, absolutely, right? No, absolutely. So let's keep up. You guys are more than welcome anytime you're around to come on the show and plug anything. If you want me to plug anything, anytime, like if you got some new coming up or like a show, just send it to me and I'll just plug it on the podcast for sure.
Cool.
Yeah,
Thank
absolutely.
That's awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'd love to come out sometime and like see you perform. That'd be
Please.
great. And
Experience it.
yeah. I'd love to come out and experience it. Experience your music, your musical feelings. I don't even know what the...
Just stand there and bask.
bask in the ambience. Oh, what is that from White Chicks when he farts and he's like bask in the ambience?
Yeah.
So it's so
Good one.
so good.
I might start saying that.
So good. And shout out to Sour Patch Kids for sending us the cereal. Oh wait, they didn't send us. They brought
They
that.
can reimburse.
They can
It was like
reimburse it.
$4.25.
We'll take the sponsorship. I'll take the sponsorship from Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah, like send us back.
Thank you guys for tuning in, and thank you guys for coming by, and holla. All right, big thank you to Lexie and Seth for coming by the Passion Park Studios and being on the David Lopez Show. It was a blast to have them over, and hopefully we'll get them by some other time. And thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for all the support constantly. Please get your tickets to come see me in next Saturday, February 16th. That would be great. Otherwise, stay tuned for more episodes weekly, and keep it awesome. I don't know. Just do you. Do you. All right. Be easy. Peace.